1,000 subscribers, 1,000 members of the agency. It is awesome, unreal, heartwarming, just so many different adjectives, man. I have been sitting here trying to do this intro for a long time now, starting it in a bunch of different ways, and I think the only way to really do this is keep it real with y'all. Just keep it 100, speak from the heart, and there's only one thing that's in common with all of those different attempts, and that is thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys are crazy in terms of support, man. I feel your love every single day. Whether I'm taking a break and I'm reading your comments, whether I'm uploading a video, whether I'm streaming, it has been an experience that I haven't had ever. This is definitely new. It was definitely a bit scary at first, but it has been worthwhile. So again, thank you so much. I say it all the time when I reply to comments, but I mean it when I say I couldn't have done it without you guys. No matter how good I am at the game I play, for my videos, for streams, for just the channel in general, no matter how hilarious the commentary might be, no matter how much I edit the videos, no matter how much dope music I put in the background, no matter what I do, it would mean nothing if you guys didn't click on the video, watch it, and found something in me worthwhile, just worth you clicking on the subscribe button and wanting to join me for the ride, watch me grow, join me on this YouTube journey, join me for all the crazy stories we experience in games. It would mean nothing without you guys, and that's why I have to emphasize how we reached 1,000 subscribers, because without you guys, I would just be a crazy guy screaming, raging, whatever it might be, in front of a camera to no one. So thank you so much. This is an achievement for all of us, not just me. So again, thank you for giving me a shot, giving me a chance. I will try my best to return the favor by continuing to spread the love you guys have showed me. Continuing to put a smile on your face and distracting you from whatever annoying or unhappy things life throws at us, because I know it can get tough, especially this past year or two. And the least I can do is open up, no gameplay, nothing like that, and just, you know, share a little bit about myself. Hope you guys get to know me a bit better, and just, you know, tell you multiple stories about why I started this whole thing, how I got here, why I am the way I am. And it's gonna be fun. I've never done a Q&A before, so it'll be fun for me, and hopefully it'll be fun for you. Thank you. Whew. That got a little real. But yeah, man, let's just clap it up, get some energy up in here. I'm actually not trying to clap too loud because I'm actually recording this kind of late, don't want to wake anyone up. But we did it, man. We did it. Let's get this, bro. Let's see what awesome questions you guys sent me. So how I did this was I asked you guys to send me questions through Discord, through Facebook, and I think that's it. I think I actually got one from Twitter, which is, you know, surprising because I don't do anything on Twitter anymore. I used to promote my videos on Twitter and then I kind of just stopped and haven't touched my Twitter in like months. But yeah, you guys went ham on the questions. We have a good amount here. I'd say like maybe 20. But this will be fun, man. Looking forward to answering your questions. Let's do this. So before I get into the individual questions, a lot of you guys asked something along the lines of why did I start a YouTube channel? Who and what inspired me to be a YouTuber, a content creator, stuff like that. So I think a good way to start it off is by explaining that. I think I'm gonna throw up the question by my girl Jet over here, because it is like, you know, pretty much 100% explicitly solely about why I became a YouTube content creator. So I'll put the question up here before I get into it, but she says, Agent, congratulations on your 1K. Okay, my question for you is, why did you want to become a YouTube content creator? What made you or inspire you to start your channel? I'm also going to be throwing up RG Gaming's question as well, because I feel like I'm going to answer his question for the most part with the bit that I'm going to be talking about soon, like right after. But he says, congratulations, my man. Only going to be growing bigger and better from here. My question is going to be the standard one, but someone has to ask, what made you want to do YouTube / play video games for an audience? And I wish I had a clear-cut answer, like I started YouTube because of this, but unfortunately it is a bit more complicated than that. It is a multifaceted answer, a lot of parts to it, because it was something that I was on the fence for, or on the fence of, for a while, and I didn't pull the trigger until I convinced myself that it was a good play, and that, you know, there was, you know, good reasoning behind it. So there's a few reasons why. The first reason is pretty obvious, I think, and that is because I freaking love video games. I have been a gamer almost all my life. I started, I guess, when I was around 4 years old. I am 23, about to be 24, so we're about to hit that big 2-0 anniversary of me being a geek, and me just clicking and clacking buttons to progress in some virtual reality. But yeah, I love games, and you know, nowadays with the internet and everything, gamers can really come together, create communities, and there's just so many different genres of it. It's crazy, and it always, you know, is connected somehow to YouTube, Twitch, you know, stuff like that, platforms like that. And I just really wanted to be part of that community. The second reason is so I can maybe hopefully create a community where people feel safe, included, and, you know, are just welcome to open up, blow off some steam, share a little bit about themselves, whether it may be good or bad, and have people willing to listen to them, willing to help them get through whatever it may be, and just chat, just make friends, just chill, just bond over all of their different interests. And I feel like with the channel being mostly gaming, that it's perfect for stuff like that. And it sounds kind of cringy, but I believe that games can help your perspective on life a lot. Again, I know we're getting super deep, but this is who I am. I know it may not come across that way in my videos, with me mostly just yelling a lot, you know, beating up a lot of people. But at the same time, you guys might have seen a little glimpse of it during, you know, some of the endings, some of the finales of some of my videos, how real, how passionate I get, how attached I get to the characters. I love this, man. Not because it's fun, because I really do believe that you can take something away from these fake, you know, virtual realities that we call video games and apply it somehow, apply that same energy, that same mindset to real life. Like if the game has a super rich story with, you know, characters with a bunch of different personalities, it can teach you, you know, the types of people that you're going to have to maybe deal with in real life. Some of the settings and some of the situation that these characters find themselves in, it's unreal, sure, like a zombie apocalypse or something like that. But it will show you when someone is pushed to their limits, how people can act, how different people can change. And that's something that you're not gonna, you know, experience every day in real life. But in that regard, you'll kind of be prepared for it. I don't know if I'm making any sense at all. But you know what I mean? I don't know if you know what I mean, but you know what I mean? And even if the game doesn't have a story at all, whether it's storyless, whether it has super generic characters, if maybe it's a ragey sort of game, right? Like Getting Over It or Pogo Stuck or something like that, right? That really tests your personal, you know, traits, your patience, your perseverance. And if it, you know, obviously it feels super good when you just push through all of those in-game obstacles. But when you hit obstacles like that in real life, you're going to be ready to tackle it. You're going to be ready to be patient, and you're going to be ready to persevere through it. I don't know if this makes any sense, but if you're a gamer, you know what I mean. And the third reason is probably the deepest of them all. Just when you think I couldn't get more deep, eh? That's what she said. It's because one day I want my children to look back at all of the videos I made. If they enjoy it because they think it's funny, seeing their dad, you know, scream, beat people up, you know, get scared over horror games, then cool. That's what they're gonna enjoy it for. But if they, you know, grow up a bit, mature a bit, and they run into videos like this, where I'm keeping it real with y'all, speaking from the heart, then maybe, hopefully, they'll enjoy the videos because they get to see their dad's perspective on a bunch of different things. They get to see how passionate he was about his favorite hobby and how it shaped the way he is today, the way he will be in the future. And they'll also get to see how good looking their dad was before he started getting all wrinkly and balding or whatever, future agent, future Julius, whatever he will end up looking like. Hopefully I still look like this in 20 years or so. But yeah, as you can see, this is something that's very important to me, something that I'm willing to do for a long time. I'm in this for the long run. I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing this to, you know, entertain. I'm doing this to bring a smile to people's faces. And I'm doing this not only for me, but for other people as well. Sorry if that was long and a bit mushy. But that is the complete answer as to why I started YouTube. Now let's go over to your questions and see what you guys want to know about me. So ActTrix says, congrats dude, you really deserve it. What's your favorite things about YouTube and what have you learned from it? First of all, thank you so much for the congrats. Thank you for the awesome question as well. As for my favorite thing about YouTube, it would have to be back to the whole thing about how YouTube can connect so many people, no matter where you live, no matter what your backstory is. It is insane what the internet can allow us to do. There are people, viewers who joined my Discord, and it has been fun chatting with them, getting to know them, and, you know, eventually making friends with them. And as a YouTube creator, I've joined some Facebook and Discord groups with other fellow YouTube creators, and it is insane how close I got to some of these people. I'm not gonna drop any names. You guys know who you are. But man, we chat on a daily. We talk about everything. Sometimes games, sometimes about real life, sometimes about what we're doing, what we're struggling with, you know, what we have planned for the day. Just they became actual friends. I never would have seen it coming. I've made friends with a handful of people from the UK. I've made friends with people from other parts of the US, West Coast, you know, California, Midwest, South. I've made a couple of friends from Canada. There's one person who used to live in Canada and now lives in Japan. There's a couple from New Zealand. Some people from Australia. It is crazy, man. It's crazy how we're all different. We're all different ages, different ethnicities, different backstories. But this one thing in common that we have, gaming, it acts as a perfect icebreaker. And then from there, we just open up and just learn from each other. It is insane, man. That is definitely my favorite part about YouTube. And as for what I learned from it, I would have to say a little bit of perseverance. You know, you definitely gotta hustle. You definitely have to grind to make it somewhat far on YouTube. But that's along with all of the other things with like life and its obstacles and just all of the other ragey games that I've played. Just a lot of things played into that perseverance. But the one thing that I probably would have never learned if I never did YouTube was just a bunch of technical stuff involving software and PC and video editing and thumbnail editing and stuff like that. Like, I never would have seen myself having to study up and kind of master Photoshop for my thumbnails. I never would have known what the heck DaVinci Resolve was. That's the software that I use to edit my videos. If you told me DaVinci Resolve, I would have been like, what? Is that an artist or something? Like Leonardo da Vinci's bibliography or something? Like, what are you talking about, bro? Yeah, it's been fun learning all of those different things involving the computer and software and stuff like that. Especially since I've been a console boy like 99% of my life. I've played like maybe like 4 games on my computer. One of them was called Penguin, one of them was RuneScape, and the other 2 were just like visual novels or whatever that were like on Steam, free and just super easy to run. But I've never had like a high-end PC. I've never been able to really game on a PC. I really want to one day. But yeah, that's what I've learned from YouTube. and that's my favorite thing about YouTube as well. Aylablitz or Aylablitz, sorry if I butchered that, but she says congrats in reaching 1K. For your Q&A, my question is, what's your next plan for your channel? Smiley face. Again, thank you so much for the congrats. Thank you for sending in the question. As for what my next plan is for the channel, I guess realistically it's to hit 2K subs, 2K members of the agency, 2K people who want to join me for the ride, experience these awesome games with their awesome stories, 2K people that I'm hopefully gonna put a smile on their face. I'm gonna, continue to stream the longer sort of games, those 50+ hour sort of campaigns and stories. We've currently been doing Yakuza Like a Dragon. We did Assassin's Creed Valhalla prior. Those are thick games. So streaming those, and as for videos, just having fun with new releases, but also ones that meant a lot to me, brings back some childhood memories, and just overall just sharing experiences with y'all, continuing to have good memories, great memories, and supporting those awesome YouTube friends that I mentioned earlier. Next question is from TheBeardedSage, or should I say The Bearded Wage? That's a bit of an inside joke between us two. As you'll see, he says, "Hey, Wagent," with the community tab, #goals. Thank you, thank you. When did you realize you were a W? Seriously, how long have you been doing YouTube? When did I realize I was a W? I guess ever since you rolled up to my stream that one day and just started calling me Wagent, because we don't do anything but get W's, bro. We win, win, win no matter what. Got money on our mind and can never give it up. And every time I step up in the building, everybody's hands go up. And they stay there. And they say, yeah. And they say, up, down, up, down, up, down. This is up, though. Down. Yeah, thanks so much, Wage. You always got me in your corner. And as for how long I've been doing YouTube, I think it's been around 9 months now. I think I started late June, early July. The first, video game we did on the channel was Last of Us 2. So whenever, around the release date for that. But yeah, I'd say around 9 months. We are approaching that 1 year anniversary mark. It is coming up this summer. It's crazy, man. Time flies. Time flies, dude, especially when you're having fun. But yeah, next question is from BUBBAWOLFGAMING. He says, who is your favorite YouTuber and why BUBBAWOLFGAMING? Nah, I kid. But seriously, I think people love this question. Who is your favorite YouTuber and why? It's BUBBAWOLFGAMING. I mean, just look at the username. Like, BUBBAWOLFGAMING. I love wolves. Wolves are freaking sick. I love gaming, obviously. Whenever I see Bubba, I think of Bubba Gump Shrimp. That's even what they're called. Those are pretty scrumptious. Bubba was Forrest Gump's best friend, and Forrest Gump is my favorite movie. So there's that. And it also reminds me of Hubba Bubba. I don't know if you remember that, but it used to be like literal gum tape, like a roll of tape, but it was gum. And I would take the whole thing, plop it in my mouth, and just have a whole bubbly mess in my mouth. It is crazy what my mouth can do. Pause. But nah, my favorite YouTuber would have to be Cory Kenshin. Some of you guys know this about me already. Some of you guys know who Cory Kenshin is, but he is awesome, bro. He's hilarious. His editing is god tier, and he has probably one of the best YouTube communities in my opinion, bro. His community is called the Samurai, and he's the Shogun of the Samurai. And I just really respect how the Samurai brothers and sisters carry themselves, not only on YouTube, but online in general. Of course, amongst the Samurai, they are like family, they care about themselves, they, you know, check up on one another. But, you know, also if there is a samurai going down the wrong path and is maybe being toxic online, whether it be on Reddit or someone else's YouTube channel, just spreading negativity, the other samurai will roast the heck out of that samurai, set them straight, and, you know, just ensure that, you know, their community is viewed as respectful and honorable. It is amazing how all of these people just agree to be like this, to spread positivity. It's awesome. He raised them well, and it's what I want the agency to be like one day, as me as a director, and hopefully I can direct y'all to do the right thing just like he does. And aside from community, just him as a YouTuber in general, he is what I want to be like as a content creator one day. He started YouTube a long time ago, like 10, 11 years ago. He first started when he was in high school. He continued doing it through college until one day he dropped out of college. I think he only had 1K, 2K subs back then when he dropped out of college, and he decided to do YouTube full time for like a year, and he gave it his all, just channeled everything into his videos, and it paid off. And he is now at like 9 mil subscribers. He is the definition of hustle, perseverance, faith, belief. He's awesome, bro. And he is living proof that you can do whatever you put your mind to, as long as you put in the work, as long as you're constantly bettering yourself, but doing it with respect and morality at the same time. Love that guy, and I wish him the best. It'll be crazy if he sees this, but I doubt it. But favorite YouTuber, Ori Kenshin. Next question is from Clouded Minds. He says, congrats, my dude, well deserved. My question is 2 parts. Q&A, why did you choose the name Agent, and have you ever thought of changing it to Agent Cans to all hobos? If not, please consider it. Much love, Agent Cans. Stay clouded. See you soon. I'm gonna throw up the question from Boss Lady Tiff. She is one half of the YouTube channel TiffxNero. They're a couple and they play co-op games. Super fun channel. But she asks pretty much the same question: where did the name Agent come from? As for the context for this question, it's because I've been streaming Yakuza Like a Dragon, and that game's kind of goofy. And there was a part of the game where we were kind of a hobo, where we were homeless and we had to pick up cans and sell it for money so we could survive. And yeah, I went a little too hard on the cans minigame, and Clouded really loved that. So he calls me Agent Cans, hero to all hobos. But I unfortunately will not change my name to Agent Cans, hero to all hobos. I just think that'll be tough with the YouTube algorithm and you know, tags and all that if I just change my channel name to that. Totally, that's why. But I will always be Agent Cans to all hobos to you, bro. Feel free to call me that at any time. But as for why I chose the name Agent, to be honest, not much Not much meaning behind that one. I think I was in like 5th or 6th grade. I think I just finished watching a James Bond movie, a 007 movie, and I just thought he was super cool. I thought that that's what being an adult male was gonna be like. I thought I was just gonna be wearing suits all the time, being cool, being suave, being good looking, and just saving the world and getting the girls every day. That is not the case, but it was pretty cool back then, and it stuck with me to this day. It was my username ever since, man. It was my AIM username, my AOL Instant Messenger. Spent a lot of my middle school conversations through that. It was my PlayStation Network name. It's the one I use to this day. It's the one that has hundreds of platinum trophies on. It's the account that has loads of games, and it's just part of my identity at this point, bro. There are, just as many people who call me Agent as they do Julius. It's just part of me now, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro. So next question, Agent Crikey asks, where do babies come from? Dragons. Foosh! Roll! Dovahkiin. But next question is from DBDGamerGirl. She says, congratulations, so well deserved. My question is, what are your plans for your YouTube channel in the long term? Do you plan to stick to gaming, or are you interested in making any other types of content as well? Just curious. Again, thank you for the congrats and for the question. As for my plans for YouTube in the long term, again, I mostly plan on doing a lot of the same things, streams, so I can play and interact with y'all, and the videos so I can, reach out to other people in general and just have fun with the editing and all that. But also somewhere down the line, I'm not really sure how to do it yet, because I just do everything on a MacBook, on a laptop. So the specs aren't really the best. I don't think I can really run OBS at like 60 FPS. And quality is pretty important for me, but somewhere down the line, I want to do reactions to just a bunch of different things, I guess, like game trailers. But mostly I kind of want to do challenges. I kind of want to try out like the try not to laugh challenges, react to some scary videos. I would want to do it with TikToks as well, but then there's the whole like copyright issue, since TikTok usually has like copyrighted music, and that's not going to fly with YouTube. But yeah, just a bunch of reactions. I want to get the community involved, where maybe there's like a channel in the Discord where you can drop things like, horror videos or just funny videos for me to react to. Maybe I can even resurrect my dead Twitter by doing that. Maybe I could have viewers tweet things to me. But yeah, that's something that I definitely want to do one day, and I will hop on that, I guess, when I get the specs to do it. So EMILIO J Gaming says, so hyped you hit 1K subs, a lot more coming this year for sure. For the Q&A, 1, what/who inspired you to start a channel? 2, your goals for the channel this year? And 3, top 3 future games you're hyped for. Appreciate you taking the time to answer these. No problem, dude. My pleasure, my pleasure. But yeah, as for the what/who inspired me to start a channel, I talked about that earlier, about not only my favorite YouTuber, Corey Kenshin, he is a who that inspired me. And I also talked about, the 3 whats that inspired me to make a YouTube channel. As for goals for the channel this year, honestly, bro, you guys already blew my goal out of the park. My goal was to reach like 250 subs in a year. And I was like, if I did this YouTube thing for like 4 years, kind of like 4 years of high school or 4 years of college or something like that, then I would, graduate and hit that 1K. It was kind of like this whole school of YouTube thing going on in my head. And I mention it sometimes to my YouTube friends, how I view the YouTubers that started around the same time as me as kind of like my classmates, kind of like how we're the class of 2020 or 20, whatever it may be. It's kind of weird because there's not really like an end date for when we should all hit 1K subs at the same time. Like that's just not how it works. But yeah, you guys blew it out of the park. 250, we are at 1,000, man. 4 times more than what I expected. And I'm not gonna drown you guys with thank yous because I felt like I was super deep with you guys earlier, but I appreciate it, man, from the bottom of my heart. But as for the top 3 future games I'm hyped for, one, definitely, hands down, has to be Hogwarts Legacy, bro. It's crazy. I'm not even the biggest Harry Potter fan, but I still love it nonetheless. I loved the world. I loved the movies. I loved just the creatures that live in that world, and being able to like step into it with maybe my own custom character, getting placed into hopefully Gryffindor if I channel my Gryffindor energy hard enough, because I am a Gryffindor according to all of the quizzes and Pottermore and everything. But yeah, being able to step into that world, it's gonna be crazy, magical, super fun. I can see myself playing it for a long time. When it does come out, it's gonna be the mainstream game for a long time. You better bet, bro. You better bet. But unfortunately, that game got delayed to sometime next year. It was supposed to come out this year. I was kind of bummed about that, but after, the whole fiasco with Cyberpunk, I guess it's best that they take their time and perfect the game before they just release it and disappoint just a lot of the people who are hyped for it, like me. As for the other games, I'm also really hyped for God of War Ragnarok. I loved God of War 4 or the new God of War, whatever you want to call it, the one that came out for PS4 with boy with Atreus. That was sick, man. I love how they kind of changed the combat a little bit, but it was still super fun. My boy Kratos, me and him go way back to the PS2 PSP days. Yeah, definitely looking forward to Thor Ragnarok, man. And the third game that I'm hyped for is Overwatch 2. Unlike Thor Ragnarok, where we know it's coming out by the end of this year, and Hogwarts Legacy, where we know it's coming out next year, I have no idea when Overwatch 2 is coming out. I know it's a thing because they released trailers and some gameplay for it, and it's confirmed by Blizzard, but it might even be like 2 years from now. But I'm super hyped for that. As some of you know, I love Overwatch 1. It is my favorite multiplayer game, hands down. I spent hundreds of hours on that game. I've played all of the different characters. I still play it to this day with some friends. And I shed a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on the competitive portion for that game. There was a point in college where I went super hard on the competitive portion for that game. I tried to reach Grandmaster. If you play the game, you know what that is. It is basically the rank below top 500. I never expect to hit top 500. That's where like all the hardcore pros are placed. but I feel like with all of the hours I put into that game, I should at least, you know, be able to hit Grandmaster if I just applied my skills and knowledge for that game hard enough. But aside from the gameplay and all of the amazing different characters that you can play as, Overwatch also has a lot of sentimental value to me. It is the main game that I play with the bros whenever it's the weekend or whenever we're free. That is the game that me and the bros are gonna, you know, hop on. When I say the bros, by the way, I mean like my best IRL friends. I met them in high school, and you know, after graduating high school and going on to college and post-grad and stuff like that, our lives are like very different. We have different schedules and stuff like that. Some of us are working currently and some of us are still in school like me. You know, the ones with like longer paths and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just a great game to hop on. It's a team game, so it's a good way for us to, I guess, channel our bonds or friendship or coordination or whatever and see if we're good enough to go up against other people who are trying to work as a team as well. But at the same time, there are some modes where we can just laugh, do some stupid things with the characters, and just have a good time. Overall, my favorite thing about it is how you can just, you know, get together, chill out, you know, talk about life, and catch up no matter, you know, what we're dealing with, no matter where our paths take us. One of us had to go far upstate, while the rest of us are kind of around the same area in Queens, New York. So it's cool how we can just, you know, catch up with that other guy and stay in touch with him. And that just goes back to the whole thing about the internet being able to connect people no matter what the distance is. Another cool thing about, you know, us playing Overwatch was because one day during a winter event, if you play Overwatch, it was the event was called Maze Snowball. But we rolled up, me and the bros rolled up into that event, and we just started talking with this random player who just filled an empty slot on our team. But man, fast forward today, and that random is one of our best friends to date, bro. And he lives in Texas. Matthew, if you're watching this, much love to you, bro. But yeah, it is crazy. I never would have seen myself being so close to a random who filled an empty slot in my Overwatch game who lives in Texas. Never would have seen it coming, but we are so close that me and the bros are willing to fly this man down to up to New York whenever there's a super big event like a wedding or something, bro. It's crazy. Wow, I got sidetracked. But yeah, top 3 games that I'm hyped for: Hogwarts Legacy, God of War Ragnarok, and Overwatch 2. Okay, so my boy Flakintosh says, I want to know, as a new channel, when you started your career on YouTube, did you feel it was good to have interaction while growing with a community, or simply just growing your channel and take it as it came? AKA, did you prefer having interaction with your growth, or did you just go with the flow? I definitely 100% prefer having interaction with my growth. I rather be on like 250, 300 subs right now, and having people comment and tell me how my videos have been useful, how my videos have been funny, and how my videos might bring back some childhood memories or something like that, as opposed to having 1K subscribers, sure, getting the views, getting the subs and stuff like that, but just not really getting much feedback on it. It definitely made the grind, it definitely made the hustle more easier, in my opinion, having the interaction there. Because like imagine you're just grinding day after day after day, trying to, you know, stay true to your upload schedule and stuff like that. And sure, the numbers are going up or whatever, but it feels kind of lonely, you know, not hearing back from any of your subs, wondering why they even subbed to you in the first place, not having any YouTube friends to talk about the issues that only other YouTube creators can understand. So having the interaction was definitely worthwhile, and I'm glad I had plenty of that on my road to 1K, and hopefully I get more of that on the road to 2K. It started getting kind of cold out of nowhere, so I put a hoodie on. But next question is from my boy GamerCentric. He says, my question for yours, dude, is do you still take time to game for yourself as a gamer, or is everything content driven since you became a YouTuber? That's a good question. I guess my answer to that would be a little bit of both. Ever since I started YouTube, I'm definitely more conscious about the types of games I buy, the types of games I play, and how I play them. Because with me trying to like balance both school and YouTube, and both of those things are time demanding, I don't really have much time to play games in general. So when I do hop on a game, it's usually to record or stream, and I want to enjoy that. You know, doing YouTube and the editing and the video making process is fun and all, but it's a plus if I enjoy the game that I'm playing and I'm not dreading it and, you know, recording it and playing it day after day after day. So I'm definitely, you know, conscious about, you know, the types of games I play, and I'm also, you know, constantly thinking about different ways to spice things up, maybe come up with new video ideas that I think you guys would like. So I'm definitely conscious about that. But at the same time, I do take time for myself as a gamer to just, you know, sit back, relax, chill. And it's usually just back to that whole Overwatch with the bros thing. It's not just Overwatch. We've been playing a lot of other co-op games recently, like Speedrunners that came out a long time ago, but it was on sale and we started playing that. Of course, there's Among Us. So yeah, it usually just revolves me playing with my friends, just chilling out. It's definitely easier to just, you know, not have to worry about being in front of a camera and saying the right things and worrying about the commentary and how it's going to end up as a video in the long run. It's pretty chill that way. But yeah, I guess my answer to that would be I try to make some time for me and my friends, and I also try to make some time for you guys, because, you know, you guys are my friends as well, in one way or another. But yeah, great question. Thank you for sending it in. On to the next one. So G Family says, you deserve it, brother agent. My question is, when will you be proposing to your future wife? Now that was a good one. It is a good question. I get this question a good amount from you guys ever since I started that It Takes Two series with the girlfriends. My friends ask me that as a joke. I think my parents ask me that every now and then, but it's not going to be for a while. I don't think I explicitly said it. I might have just alluded to it, but I am in med school. And if you're aware about that whole process, if you've ever considered it, you know that it's a long like track, a long timeline, a long journey. I'm currently in my second year of med school, so I have 2 more years to go until I graduate from that. And then I plan on going to hopefully a 3-year residency program where I'll get, you know, proper training that'll prepare me for all sorts of different types of cases, both surgery and just like family practice sort of stuff, just like regular, bread and butter sort of procedures. And then there might even have to be like a year or two of fellowship. So the reason I'm saying all of this is because I kind of want to actually start working and actually start having a stable salary and stuff like that before I even start thinking about, proposing, getting married, starting a family, getting a house, and just all of that stuff. I also have all of the student debt that I'm gonna have to, deal with after I graduate. The student debt from medical school. Luckily, I kind of went to undergrad or, college for my BS in bio. Mostly for free, for the most part, free because I had a scholarship, and just in general, the tuition was relatively low. It was kind of a community college in Harlem in Manhattan, if you're familiar with the area. So yeah, a lot of different things to worry about. I plan on graduating med school, obviously in a couple of years. And when I move on to residency, I'll be getting a fraction of the salary that I would be getting as an actual doctor. So I plan on just staying at home, minimizing my expenses as much as possible, and saving up that salary so I can pay off all my student loans at once as soon as possible, get that out of the way. So when I actually start getting the actual salary, the full-fledged salary, I can actually, start thinking about how I'm going to apply that to my life moving forward. And of course, that involves my girlfriend, because she's a big part of that. She's awesome. She's been super supportive, and she knows exactly what I've been going through because she is in the health medical field as well. She's studying to be a pharmacist herself, and her program is like 6 years out of high school. She's almost done with that, and then she'll be working before me, but still, it's a relatively long path for the both of us. So yeah, it's gonna be a while. There's a lot of things I'm gonna have to deal with, but she's great. She's willing to wait. I'm willing to wait. It's perfect. Thank you so much for the question, G. And on to another question from another person whose name starts with the G, GeoTony13. I believe this is a girl. She says, question, okay, what is that one game or games, if more than one, that really got to you, whether it be emotionally or made you really think about things? Okay, thank you for the question. That is a good one. I'm gonna throw VR Vampy's question up as well. She asks, what has been a game that's had you really hooked because of the story and gameplay? I feel like the answer I'm about to give is gonna answer that for the most part as well. I guess a game that really got to me, really affected me, got me really attached to characters. I guess that's kind of correlated to, what my favorite game is. And some of you know this. Some of you asked about it before. My favorite game is Persona 5. Again, I mentioned it sometimes in the videos, but there's literally like a kind of a poster. It's kind of cut off, but there's a Persona 5 poster up there. And I freaking love that game, man. It is a turn-based JRPG. So if you're familiar with the genre, you know that it is a lot of dialogue, a lot of cutscenes. It is super long. It is a 100-hour game. That's the original game. And then they kind of came out with an updated version of the game that had like an extra story arc that added like 20 to 30 more hours. So it is a chunky game. And by the end of that 100-hour plus campaign, it's kind of cringy, but it kind of feels like you're actually part of the gang. Like you actually became friends with the characters. And it's amazing, man. If you're into JRPGs and you haven't played Persona 5, I don't know what you're doing. And if you're definitely like looking for a really good game in that genre and just want to try the genre out for the first time, that's my recommendation for sure. But yeah, on to the next one. by the Hippo. He says, what is your biggest tip for smaller YouTubers? So my answer to that is a pretty simple one, but I really do mean it. And that is, don't give up. I know it's, way easier said than done, but again, I mean it. I can go on and on about how you can constantly improve your videos, by working on your thumbnail, working on your editing, working on your gameplay, your commentary, your SEO, your, social media promotion and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we all go through our ups and downs on this YouTube journey. I don't care if you have millions of subscribers or you have only a few. There are going to be times where it's just going to get tough, whether it's because you're having, problems balancing, real life with YouTube, or you're just feeling burnt out, or it feels like you're getting nowhere, you're not getting interaction or stuff like that. We all have our lows, and, I guess the YouTubers that become successful are the ones who persevere, who push through all of those obstacles, all of those both external and internal obstacles, and just keep pushing through no matter what, and just keep doing what they're doing. And they just keep reminding themselves about why they started in the first place, how much it means to them, how much time they put in, and they just find something to keep pushing on and keep moving forward and hitting those milestones and those goals. So yeah, don't give up. You got this. I believe in you. You are awesome, dude. Seriously, you got this. Next question is from Inspiration from the Past. He says, hey, Agent, congrats. So my question would be how long it took you to reach 1K subscribers, and what was the hardest and the most pleasant part of the journey? Again, thank you so much for the congrats and for the awesome question. As for how long it took me to reach 1K subscribers, I reached 1K, recently, and I've been doing YouTube for 9 months. So it's been, around 9 months for me to reach 1K. As for what was the hardest and the most pleasant part of the journey, I kind of answered the most pleasant part of the journey part before. It was definitely, making new friends, connecting with people, both viewers and YouTube creators alike. It's been a pleasure talking with a bunch of different people, getting to know what life is like for them, and comparing the differences between our lives and also the similarities. But as for the hardest part of the journey, it's definitely been balancing med school, and YouTube. It was definitely a process. It was definitely kind of tough starting out, but after video, I was able to figure out a nice balance between the two. I was able to figure out how I could manage my time, where I could be successful in both. But no matter how much I feel like I figured it out, there's definitely going to be days that are tougher than others. You probably kind of maybe felt it or seen it these past few weeks, since I'm currently recording this while I'm on break. I just finished the semester, but these past few weeks I've been having finals, and they are all cumulative, meaning that it tests on material from throughout the entire, semester, the entire past year. So it's been tough, trying to study for all of those finals, but also keep, somewhat of a regular upload schedule here on the channel. When push comes to shove, I'm definitely going to prioritize school over YouTube, because, as I mentioned earlier, this whole med school doctor thing is a very long track, very long timeline. I actually wanted to be a doctor from a very young age, so it's actually been a lot longer than you think. I guess I've been on this path as long as I've been a gamer, like ever since I was a kid. So it's been something that I've been working towards pretty much my whole life. So that'll definitely take priority. But I also really want to keep doing this thing as much as I can to the best of my ability, because, you know, not only is it fun for me and it's a nice outlet and I can, you know, share my passion for the things I love, but, you know, I get to make friends, I get to put smile on faces, and it actually helps with school in some ways as well. I've done so many videos with commentary and stuff like that, and I didn't really realize it until it was over, but it really helped a lot when it came to presentations, you know, in front of my class. I had a practical where it was kind of like a simulated doctor-patient interaction. Like, you know, when the doctor walks in, knocks the door, introduces himself, and then starts taking like a patient history. You know, we had a practical on that. It was a simulation, but nonetheless, I felt confident in my communication, my ability to verbalize, you know, what I'm feeling or what I think. I'm still a bit of a stuttery mess when it comes to commentary sometimes. But imagine how I was before I started YouTube. I was a little shy, a little soft-spoken, but I feel like, you know, doing this whole YouTube thing allowed me to open up, you know, I guess, break out of my shell a little bit, and it helped me grow as a person. So yeah, what was the question again? What was the hardest and most pleasant part of the journey? So yeah, most pleasant part, you know, meeting a bunch of new people, making a bunch of new friends, and the hardest, that, you know, balance between, you know, just real life in general, I guess, not really just school, but school is like the most time demanding part of my life. But yeah, that, you know, balancing that and YouTube. The next question is from MrKennyV, and he asks, why are you so beautiful? Why are you so beautiful, Kenny? And on top of that, you have that smexy Australian accent. Boy, you got me beat. But if I really had to answer your question, it would have to be a lot of milk. I love milk. I drink it more than water sometimes. You know, I guess that contributed to my strong bones. Maybe my jawline. I don't even know if this is impressive or not. I don't really look at jawlines like that. I guess, you know, Korean skincare products, you know, that helps with, you know, the glow. Anti-dandruff shampoo. I've had to struggle with the dandruff for most of my life, and without that, it would be snowing 24/7 around here on the channel. But no, real talk. I guess I'm just really blessed to have a handsome father and a beautiful mother. That's it. It's just straight up genetics. And it's just randomized, and this is what they got. This is what God gave them. And I think I turned out pretty well. It could be a lot worse if you've played RPGs like Dark Souls or Neo or Bloodborne, I think, where there's an in-depth character creation at the beginning of the game where you can adjust sliders, nose width, face width, and all of that to jazz. And then there's that button that randomizes all of that. You can either get, you know, an average or good looking character, or you can get a straight up orc, a straight up goblin, a monstrosity. So luckily, you know, my parents got this. Pretty good randomization. Thank you, mom and dad, for the default settings. But yeah, man, thanks for the question. That was a funny one to answer. Next question is from Medley of Games. He says, or another is, if you were starting a new channel today, what would you do different now than what you did before? Pretty much my answer to that would be I wish I had the knowledge that I have now back then. And that's a lot of different things, from, I guess, you know, the balance between school and YouTube, my knowledge for that, my knowledge for SEO and tags, titles, descriptions, just, you know, doing the most to optimize my videos and get it on people's homepages, you know, to gain new viewers and stuff like that. I wish I had my Photoshop thumbnail creation skills back then. But I guess the biggest thing would be, it's kind of impossible, but I wish I had the PS5 back then. Of course, it wouldn't have made sense. People would have been like, how the heck did you get that? You're like the only person in the entire world that has a PS5 in 2019, 2020. But seriously, you have no idea how much the upgrade from PS4 to PS5 affected my channel. First of all, I was able to get rid of that jet engine freaking PS4 sound, fan noise. That thing was terrible. I would apply so many filters on OBS to my mic to, you know, cancel or suppress that noise, but that thing was on a whole nother level, bro. It felt like that thing was gonna explode at any time, but that was just something I had to deal with and work around. But after I got rid of that problem, my commentary audio cleaned up. Of course, the gameplay itself got better, with, you know, just how smooth the games run, how fast the loading speeds are, how beautiful the graphics look, and then there's the whole haptic feedback and, you know, dual sense and everything with the controller that just makes my experience even better, and hopefully it reflects in the videos. And another big thing is, on the PS5, I finally got like my full like internet speeds. Like on my PS4, I would have it, you know, a wired connection, Ethernet cable and all that, but I would only get like a fraction of my download and upload speed. But on the PS5, I get like the full effect of my connection. I can download pretty thick games in like 5 to 10 minutes, update games pretty fast, as opposed to me having to like download the games the night before so I can play it like the afternoon after, because that's just how long the download took. And as for the upload speeds, it allowed me to stream at a good quality for you guys. My streams are 1080 60. It does get a bit choppy sometimes when the internet, you know, connection, I guess, kind of fluctuates, but it's pretty stable, pretty good looking for the most part. And it definitely beats the 720 30 you know, quality that I had to deal with when I was streaming on the PS4. But yeah, that's my answer to that question. Some parts of it were unrealistic, but others not so much. But overall, I just wish I had the experience and the knowledge that I have now back then. But you know, that's the part of the journey. That's part of improving, and that's part of growing. You know, growing both the channel and just growing as a creator. So I'm thankful and I enjoyed the ride. Next question is from Melikka. She says, hey, if you're still looking for questions for your 1000 sub video, what's your favorite game genre and what's your least favorite genre? Again, congrats on the 1000 subs. You truly deserved it, and I can't wait to watch the channel grow. Thank you for the congrats. That was super sweet. And thanks for the question as well. As for my favorite game genre, I mentioned earlier that my favorite game was Persona 5. That's a JRPG. And as you could probably guess, my favorite game genre is JRPG. But I would just say RPG in general. Role-playing games, they are just way more immersive compared to other genres in my opinion, because you usually have control over your character a lot. Sometimes you get to decide how they look. You get to, change their traits, how they act. You get to decide what dialogue options they say. And it's like you're really stepping foot into that character's shoes and doing what you would do if you were in that world. And for the most part, RPGs are open world as well. So being able to just run around, appreciate the beautiful landscapes, and just randomly running into, just random strangers, random people, dealing with a bunch of random problems. Some of them are super goofy, super funny, and that's, good in of itself. But even the stupidest things just really bring life to the world and just makes it even more immersive. As for my least favorite genre, I would have to say puzzle platformer. I hate puzzles in games. No matter what it is, whether it's an RPG, a story game, or whatever, you throw a puzzle at me, I roll my eyes a little bit. Of course, it feels good when you solve the puzzle, but I'm like, I wish, just the action wasn't interrupted with this puzzle, because I'm definitely gonna get stuck on this for like 10 minutes or so, and it's just gonna be like, ugh. And I guess I added in the platformer part of that just because platformers to me are mostly ragey. If you've seen my Crash 4 video series, you know how much I raged playing that game. It's a love-hate relationship with platformers, though. I love the platforming games that I've played. Of course, I rage and stuff when when I'm going through them and playing them for the first time. But when I finish, the levels, it's like a huge sigh of relief. It's a huge, testosterone boost, a huge ego boost. I'm like, I did it! I did it! I finally did it. I persevered. And that goes back to the whole perseverance thing. And just like when I think back to all the platformers I played, it's weird. I never really focus on the rage that I experienced, but more about how I came out a better gamer after finishing that game. But pretty much if you take the rage I experience with platformers and the rage I experience with puzzles and you put them together, and that's like the entire game, I'm like, oh god, give me an RPG, bro. Give me an RPG. Next question is from my boy Methfu. He says, what's this? I voted for Jacuzzi stream. The disappointment is real. When are you and the girlfriend getting married, and how many kids are you going to have? That's one question. It may look like two, but it's one. Congratulations again, God. Oh my god. That question. First of all, thank you for calling me God. I am very far from it. I am very far from perfect, but I appreciate it. And the jacuzzi stream, I don't got the watermelons of an e-girl. I don't have the funds or the space for a hot tub. I don't have the PC to make hot tub streams. So unfortunately, I can't flaunt my body for money. But I will answer your question. I mentioned the whole girlfriend getting married thing earlier. Pretty much, again, just after I finish all my studying and stuff like that, and I actually start practicing as an actual doctor, that's when I'll start thinking about starting a family and stuff like that. As for how many kids I'm gonna have, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like maybe two. I feel like two is a good number, I guess. My parents only had 2 kids, me and my younger sister. My girlfriend's parents only had 2 kids, her and her younger sister. So I feel like, just might as well, keep the chain going. 2 kid gang for the win, I guess. Maybe 3. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I just don't want that whole Malcolm in the middle child complex thing going on. But yeah, again, only one way to find out, right? Only one way to find out. But yeah, next question is from producer Young Kuda. He says, "Congrats, brother. Any sports you play?" Thank you for the congrats. Thank you for the question. The only sport that I've really actually played where I was part of a team and I actually, went to, practice and meetings and stuff after school, was track and field. I did that in middle school. It was cross country. Thanks for the congrats, and thank you for the question. The only sport I guess, really actually played, where I was part of a proper team and actually, went to practice and meets and stuff like that after school, was track and field. I did that in middle school, like 6th, 7th grade. It was mostly cross country. The meets would involve just like a bunch of us gathering at a starting line, at a local park or something. There would be like a planned out route. It would be like a couple of miles, and they would just let us go, let us free, and then you get to see where you come in at the end. What position you place. I was never god at it. I was never first, second, third, or whatever. I was actually kind of towards the end, towards the last. I guess it's because I would consider myself more of a sprinter than a cross country person. I think I'm really good at just unleashing a burst of energy, burst of speed, for 30 seconds or so, and then I'm done. If you're talking endurance, that wasn't my strong suit back then. But yeah, track and field. I was thinking about doing it during my high school years as well, but I focused more on I guess the arts, music and stuff like that. I focused more on bands than I did track. I feel like if I did track on top of band, it would have been too much to handle, because before class even started, really early in the morning, both band practice and track practice would go on. So it would be kind of weird, kind of hard to balance both of those. And I'm glad I did it. It actually counted as another class. So it was a super easy 100. I would just have to come in and just sit in the back and play my trumpet, make farting noises into this brass instrument. It was cool. I made some friends. I got to talk with my girlfriend. She was also in band. She was a flutist. So we got to talk a little bit, during that whole thing. But yeah, back to the sports. Yeah, I've just always been a runner my entire life. As a kid, I just loved running. Catholic school is so weird. I went to a Catholic elementary school, right? And their idea of recess was literally just releasing all of these kids into an empty parking lot. And they were like, okay, here you go. This is recess. Have fun. So of course we had no balls. We barely had jump ropes sometimes. So, for the most part, we just played tag. And, if I was it, bro, you weren't getting away from me, man. I was clapping the freaking back of your back, bro. I was clapping those cheeks. Okay. Yeah. Track and field. Next question. ProsPeace says, hey, congrats on 1,000 subs, Agent. You deserve it. My question to you is, what do you think you could bring to the YouTube community that isn't already there? All right, I'm not gonna lie, this is a really good question. I've been sitting here trying to think of an answer to this, a good answer, and it is tough. Mostly because of the fact that, YouTube has been here for years, a dozen years or so. It is not new at all, and pretty much everything has been done already by someone out there. I am definitely not the first Let's Player. At one point I was thinking of saying I could maybe represent, you know, my Filipino culture, my Filipino roots, as a YouTuber, but I'm definitely not the first for that. If I was doing that for Asians in general, definitely can't do that. I think Markiplier is part Asian, right? So I can't really say that. It's really tough. But I want to put out Let's Play videos that, you know, obviously showcase the amazing stories and characters that these games have. I want to showcase a good amount of skill. So it's not like kind of painful to watch, I guess, as a viewer, just seeing someone fail the objective over and over and over for like dozens of minutes. Videos where the commentary is both funny and passionate. You know, commentary that is positive and enjoyable and not too critical on, you know, the game and its features and its community and stuff like that. Because no matter what you think about a game, there is someone out there that really loves it, and I don't think it's cool pooping on their passion, no matter how you feel about it. So, you know, just taking games for what they are, appreciating the good parts of it, and not trying to be too phased by the negatives, because, you know, just like humans, you know, games aren't perfect. Not every game can get a 10 out of 10 review on GameStop, IGN, whatever. Not every game can be a masterpiece. And, you know, I also want to put out videos that have edits to really amplify, you know, the key moments in the games, whether it be just really emotional or really funny and stuff like that. But at the same time, keep a nice balance where it's not, you know, overwhelming, where it's not too much, where it starts taking away from the story and the world and just the magic of the game in general. But yeah, that's my plan. That's my vision for my videos, and I think I've been doing a good job so far on doing that. But, you know, there's always something we can improve on, so I plan on, you know, approaching that even more. Next question is from my boy ShutYerGob. He says, "Yo, my dude, my question is because it's a worry of mine. As a small YouTuber, we are almost indoctrinated to push for the 1K mark as the goal. Now that you've achieved it, do you think your motivation or work rate will change, or will you push harder? If the answer is push harder, what would be the next logical goal?" Thank you for the awesome, thought-provoking question. My answer to that would have to be something that's like a little bit of both, you know, some balance here and there. Because, you know, when you do hit 1K, it's only natural that you feel like you have to step your game up. I personally feel like now that I'm at 1K, I need to start putting out videos that have quality, that, you know, represents a channel of my size, a channel that is of 1K subs. I feel like I have a lot more responsibility to, you know, do quality control and make sure that the videos are up to my own personal standards. I'm not gonna lie, very early on, before I even started putting myself on thumbnails, before I, you know, started cleaning up my commentary audio and stuff like that, like really early on, there were some times where the videos were not up to my own personal standard. I'm like, a lot of things went wrong here. I could like re-record it or something like that, do something to clean it up, improve it, but it would take time, and I would feel lazy, so I would just upload it just for the sake of uploading. And it would, I could get away with it back then because I was like, you know, like 100, 200 subs and stuff like that. I felt like it wouldn't make too much of a difference. Not too many people would see my mistakes or really care. that, you know, the quality wasn't up to par. So I do feel a bit more pressure to work harder and improve my videos. Just like how I, you know, look up to YouTubers with bigger channels, with millions of subs and stuff like that, and how they inspire me. There are, you know, smaller channels, smaller YouTubers that might, you know, stumble upon my channel and feel the same. So in a way, I kind of feel like I have a bit of a responsibility to set an example and show what things work in terms of gaming videos and what things don't work. So there's that, but the pressure isn't like too crazy. It's not that big. It's not that serious where I need to like really stress over it. So on the other hand, part of me wants to just keep doing what I've been doing so far. Just, you know, continuing the grind, continuing to put my little spin on games and videos, just doing things in my style. Because I believe that if I'm having fun with, you know, the game and the whole process in general, then I believe that it'll show in the videos and the viewers will have fun alongside with me. A little bit of stress, a little bit of pressure is a good thing because it keeps you in check. It keeps you wanting to improve. It prevents you from being complacent. And that's really one of the main reasons for how you're going to grow both as a creator and as a person in general. But too much stress, too much pressure can be detrimental, and that's never a good thing. So yeah, since my answer to that question was partly yes, I will work a bit harder. I will answer the last part of that question, you know, where you say if the answer is push harder, what would be the next logical goal? And the next logical goal would be 2K subs, road to 2K. Thank you for that. Next question is from Tiffalicious Gaming. She says, oh, I got excited and forgot. When did you absolutely know you loved gaming? Like what system / game got you hooked? So I kind of alluded to this back at the beginning when I did my whole explanation for why I started a YouTube channel. I mentioned my yellow Game Boy Color. I mentioned Pokemon Red. You know, that was my first gaming device, my first game. So that definitely was, you know, the beginning of me being a gamer. The first time where I realized I loved gaming. And you know, it's funny because that was an RPG of sorts. It's definitely turn-based, so maybe that's where my love for turn-based JRPGs kind of stemmed from. After playing that game, you already know that when they started showing the Pokemon, you know, cartoon series on Cartoon Network, that I was on that. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day after school. I would get my homework done so I could chill out, watch Ash go on his crazy adventures, staying eternally 10 years old, and just defeating everyone with Pikachu, no matter what type the you know, opposing Pokemon was. It's like typing went out the window whenever Pikachu was involved. That guy is OP. So yeah, Pokemon Red definitely was the start of me being a gamer, and definitely was my entry point into, you know, the massive Pokemon culture that we have today. Next question is from Vincent Edwards. He asks, how did you balance YouTube and medical school? So the short answer for that would be time management. I don't really know how else to really say it, but yeah, like both of those things are very time demanding, and to be able to make time for the both of them, I'm gonna have to, you know, give some things up. I guess the good thing about, you know, being stuck at home during the pandemic and being quarantined and stuff like that is that I never really had a reason to go out. You know, school was online, so I didn't have to commute, waste time commuting to go to school, and then, you know, commute back home. And, you know, when it comes to like friends, we can just hang out, chill, talk online. Of course, it would be nice to meet up in person. But, you know, I guess I'm just that close with my friends and my girlfriend and stuff that it's okay if we don't see each other for a while, as long as we still find time to talk. But yeah, I can definitely see this balance getting harder when the pandemic you know, comes to a close, which it slowly is. More and more people are getting vaccinated, which is good. Things are starting to get back to normal, very, very slowly. But as for like a daily routine, it would pretty much be, for me, just wake up at 8. That's when classes would start. I would have class up until like the afternoon. Sometimes I would get out like around 2. Sometimes it's really late and I would get out around 6. But it wouldn't really matter, because no matter when my classes would end, I would chill out, usually take a nap, because those are some long hours. Eat some dinner, study after dinner, just get all of my schoolwork, all of my obligations out of the way. And then at the very end of the day, you know, before I go to bed, I hop on, record for like 30 minutes or so, and then I just go straight to editing right after. It usually takes me like an hour and a half. So in total, it would take like around 2 hours. Some videos would take longer, some would take shorter, depending on what type of video it is. So by the time all of that is said and done, it's you know, a good time for me to knock out, get ready for the next day. While I'm sleeping, my laptop is exporting or rendering or whatever the video. I would set an alarm for, you know, around the time the video would be done exporting. Then I would get up briefly to upload it to YouTube. So, you know, after that, I would just go back to sleep, and the remaining time where I would be asleep, you know, the video would be, you know, uploading to YouTube, processing, doing copyright checks, all that jazz. So when I actually get up to start my day, I just check up on it. I just schedule it for whatever time I want the video to be released. And then bing, bada boom. That was my routine for most of my YouTube journey. You know, that whole thing with me recording, editing, uploading, exporting, all of that the night before. But recently I've been trying to do everything in advance, just do like bulk recordings at once, and just having a bank full of, you know, recordings that I can just edit at a later time whenever I'm ready. You know, uploading them, having them processed on YouTube ahead of time. I feel like it's going to be good practice for when things do get back to normal. And, you know, things are only going to get more busier for me in terms of med school as I progress. So I'm only going to have like probably the weekends off. So it's good practice with the whole, you know, bulk recording and stuff like that. And as for doing my thumbnails on Photoshop, again, it differs. I either do it after I'm done editing the video if I have time, or, you know, I'll wake up like 15 minutes or so before I usually would to just work on the thumbnail. Usually it doesn't take too long, and it's probably my favorite part of the process, because I've never really been like a very artistic person, like drawing. I would do stick figures, painting, is finger painting while I was 5 years old. Does that count? Never really been artistic. I'm super grateful that whatever art teachers I had in elementary school or high schoolers, that they were like chill, because I think I would have gotten some pretty bad grades if you know, they actually graded me on skill as opposed to effort. But through, you know, the Photoshop thumbnail creation process, I kind of feel like a digital artist a little bit. I'm not the best at it, but it feels good. In terms of art, I'm definitely more of a musician than I am like a drawer or painter, you know, something along those lines. Thank you for the question. And here we are on our last question. You know, bottom of the alphabet, Z for Zack the Pizza Man. He says, hey bro, question for your Q&A. If you could be in any game, which one would it be and why? So at this point, you probably think I'm gonna say Persona 5. Since I went ham earlier about how much I loved the game, the characters, and all that. But my weeb is about to show right now, because the game that I would want to be in would be Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, just because, you know, that game is based off anime Naruto. So in a way, I'm kinda entering both a game and an anime. I basically just want to live in the village of the Hidden Leaf. You know, specifically during Naruto's generation. Like, I got to go to school with him. I got to be one of his friends. I don't care if I'm like Shino, or I'm forgettable. I don't care if I'm like Tenten, where I'm weak. Like, it's fine. Just being in that same generation as Naruto and Sasuke and all of these legends, I'm good. I'm good. And in a way, I prefer not being like a massive main character, because those guys get into some trouble, get into some near-death situations. But me, I'm just chilling, bro. I'm cruising. I'm witnessing everything. I'm awestruck. It's like I'm just a viewer, but I'm there in the shoes, like in their shoes. But yeah, I just want to have these cool chakra powers. I want to be able to do jutsus. I want to be able to eat ramen with the boy Naruto, beat people up for grades. And just live in the beautiful village hidden in the leaf, just the beautiful world that they live in general. When there's not like some crazy threat to humanity happening, you know, the world is beautiful, and I can Naruto run without the fear of being cringy, without the fear of being roasted. It's just normalized, it's accepted, everyone does it. I can run on water, I can run on the sides of buildings, I can teleport to some extent. Pfft, bro, it's like being a human, but elevated. But yeah, that is all of the questions that you guys sent in. Again, thank you so much for all of you guys. You guys are awesome. All of the congrats, all of the awesome, thoughtful questions that you guys sent in. If there's, you know, some of you out there who might have missed my announcements or alerts on YouTube, Discord, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it may be, and you really want me to answer a question of your own, feel free to drop it in the comments. I'll be trying my best to reply to all of them and giving, you know, an answer that is just as detailed as the ones I gave here. You know, hopefully this video isn't too long. I think I enjoyed this Q&A a little too much. I think it's because of the fact that I've never done a Q&A before. So literally everything I say is new and fresh to most of you guys. But yeah, again, thank you so much for the questions, just everything. Thank you so much for everything. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. We're gonna continue to grind. We're gonna continue to grow the channel, and we're gonna continue to grow as a person. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thumbs if you liked it, sub if you're new, comment if you want me to talk with you. I'm Agent, you're awesome, those are facts, and I'll be back in the next one. Peace.